everyone, ready to rock on the world with this look. And look at my hair, it's slightly curly here on the side. I really love them. I think maybe if I have some time I will curl them today, but this is besides the point. Today and now I'm filming the introduction to the TBR challenge video. I am pretty sure that I did film some degree of that, but I'm unsure where the video went, as always, so we refilm everything, that's okay. So you will be seeing me cutting up these pieces, but let me explain first. What is the TBR challenge? Well, you will have seen in a little short now that my TBR is quite extensive. It's always been quite extensive, but the problem with it being super extensive is that I do not live 24/7 in England, and therefore every single time when it comes to summer I need to pack everything up and put things in a storage, and I want to go back. I know some people will be like, why don't you hire a place for a year? Because I want to go back home, and that's my business. So I decided to set up this challenge that already exists to help myself with looking at what I need to do. And I have set it up and have read through it with quite a few prompts that I have matched up to some books. So I will now pull up the list and tell you what it's about. Here's my computer where I will be reading all of the prompts and what I matched them up to. And this will be because I have so many physical books here that I don't know where to start from. I would love to read them all. I don't have a clear structure, and I'm super happy to read whatever comes up. I have an Enemies to Lovers where I chose ACOTAR by Sarah J. Maas. Fantasy set back in time, I chose The Starless Sea by Erin Morgerstern. A book I wasn't originally going to pick and buy, I chose She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parcker-Chan. A book with a cover I absolutely love, I put down A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy I Lin. A book that takes place in boarding school, and I chose The Book of Form and Emptiness by Ruth Ozeki. I hope it takes place in boarding school, I don't remember. So let's hope that when I chose those books, I was actually making some sense. A book with a cover you aren't a big fan of, I chose Sex, Power, Money by Sarah Pascoe. I have 3 books from her because someone suggested her in one of the first videos that I made in the past, and then never got around to read it, so kind of annoying. A book with a real world setting I'd like to visit, and I chose The 7 Husbands of Eveline Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I chose that one because I think it's set in Los Angeles, and that's absolutely amazing. Then we have a fairy tale retelling, Blood Mark by Tracy Deonn, and that's not strictly fairy tale, but it reminds me of the Sword in the Rock kind of vibe, so that counts. Then we have Childhood Friends to Lovers, which is for me The Mapmakers by Tamlin Merchant. A book with the letter X in the title, and I chose Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. A book with a person's name in the title, and I chose The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.A. Schwab. A book with a mythological retelling, I chose Moon, a Witch Spider Web by Marlon James because I saw that it was taken out of African mythology, I think, so that counts. Then the biggest book in your TBR, and that has to be Troubled Blood by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling, and I'm terrified of that one. When that one comes out, I'm gonna die. It's gonna be so hard. And then a book from my favorite genre, which is The Dinner Guest by Bay P. Walter, because that's thriller. That's my favorite genre, absolute. So let's catch up on what I did. As a little wrap up of what the video will be about, I have printed out and cut out all of the different pieces. I put them in a jar and I sorted the book of the month, and then every month from now to the end of the year I will be doing this challenge. I have to say I'm loving this challenge, so I'm gonna do this next year as well because there will be always something to read and I'm really excited to. So after this explanation, let's get to sorting, let's get to reading. Nothing seems to be going right as always. I have printed off all of the list of books that I have told you about and then looked for my trustworthy scissors, and this is what I came up with because it's the only scissor that is in the house, unless you count the one to clip your nails, which doesn't count. So we will cut this out with kitchen scissors and hope that they work, and I hope that they won't ruin my piece of art, because we need these pieces to come out all right. Okay, I'm already making a mess. Okay, we have them. I just need to fold them up in a couple of pieces. And this is the jar that we will be using. I admit it's a bit massive for the amount of pieces of paper that we have, so I think I'm gonna transition to a mug. But I think that for, like, it looks so cute. Come on, like, ooh, massive jar. Okay, so let's talk predictions as I fold. I have predicted that I will probably sort as first thing the longest book, because what an irony, if I am going on holiday in Thailand for February, the shortest month of the year, and this is actually what I need to get down with, so a massive 900 pages book. Let's see, my boyfriend said that probably I will get the Starless Sea, that he hopes that I will get 6 of Crows, which I'm not mad about. So now I want to know what you think I will get. You have just listened to the whole list of books that I have selected and that I actually own to do this challenge. So please do tell me which one do you think that I will be getting. And once you type it up, I will sort the actual one that I will be reading this month. I have just figured that I have this one that is way bigger than the other ones, so I won't be picking that one because I know that it's something that I don't want to read right now, and I don't want to be biased towards the picks that I make. So I try to make them all a similar size and try to not be biased towards what I get, because if something is way bigger than something else, I will definitely decide that I will be choosing it or not. Okay. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay, let's go in. Let's go in, let's go in. Oh my god, my hand doesn't even fit. That's not a good jar for it. Okay, here it is. Here it is, here it is. Childhood friends to lovers. Oh my god! I have the Mapmakers as first book! Here it is! Oh my god, sorted! I said that if I was gonna get something small, I could sort another one. Let's see if we can sort the second one. If the second one is massive, I will put it back down. Okay, this is... I've accidentally taken out one other. Let's see. I said it! It's Trouble Brought by Rommel Galbraith, which is the longest one. Like, didn't I say it, that it was gonna come out? I'm sorry, girly, but we won't have you because this is way too big. Definite no. So instead of reading this one and another one from the sorting will happen next month for the second book of the challenge, and we will dedicate this month to insert books that I have not inserted, such as this beautiful book that is a wonderful special edition of Wayward. That will be the second book that I will be reading this month. It's not coming from the list because it came to my door after I sorted the list, so this is what I will be reading this month. Let's get going with it. The whole plot was constructed around main character Whitloof, and he just wants to destroy magic, and Cornelia of course is the main character, but there is the whole family coming in and the villains and everyone else, all of the other makers, and I truly love them all because all of them have their little something to them, and I love that so much. And the beauty of it is that everyone is a kid, except of course we have the parents, but the main characters are all kids. And it's so nice that Cornelia and her friends have to fight for magic, and it's really nice because a group of makers gets discovered, which are the mapmakers, and they have a whole thing about maps that I won't explain because it will spoil a lot of the fun. As she joins this new group of makers, new things come into play, and Whitloof is a danger to everyone, and he has planned something super evil for himself and for the city because he wants to steal magic out of everyone and destroy magic. And so what Cornelia does is that she starts making friends with everyone, just making friends, and that was such a sweet thing that there were moments in which she was shocking people by talking to someone that she wasn't supposed to talk to, and I think that was so amazing because going off of the trope of enemies to lovers but in a friendship way, and that was so cool because it really went from the families hating each other to Cornelia getting friends and just making friends with everyone because she's a kid and she doesn't care, and the rivalries doesn't really apply to her, she doesn't understand them, and that makes it super pure, and I love that. And there's also a lot of imagery out of the stars, and I thought that that was another very interesting point of the plot. It's very important to mention that this book is also set in London. I do live in London now, and so learning about the places that are in the book is so cool because it's set in the past. It's set still at times where kings and queens were there, and also they are all wearing these types of dresses which are very ancient, and the whole making thing is surrounding ancient things that I don't think that are really used anymore, like canes, hats, or gloves or boots. Gloves and boots, yes, but canes and hats maybe were used a lot more in the past, especially when it was fashionable to have those magnificent hats. I truly love that, and overall having London as the main city is very familiar to me. It's not like whenever I do read something that is written from an American author, I am pleased to learn things, but I would never be able to picture them in my mind as accurately, whereas here I can picture how a street would look and how the Thames would look, and that's super amazing, and I love that also for this reason. I'm not usually fussed about where books are set in, but this was amazing because I actually knew it, and so that was great. And for this book I didn't get the special edition, which is a bummer. But for the first book, I did get a special edition. But another nice thing about this book that made me super happy was that it is illustrated. And, well, for once, at the beginning of each chapter, we have little things that are in. And my favorite one out of them all was a picture of tea that was coming at the beginning of one chapter. Oh yeah, here, it shows everything. This is my favorite illustration at the beginning of the chapter. I just loved it. And this one is the other style of illustrations, and they are all in black and white, and they show little moments within the story, which is truly amazing. And if you think that I spoiled anything by saying that they make friends, I swear I did not. You would guess it very early on, but everything else is not guessable, and it's so magical because you don't expect anything. And so that's why I'm not saying much, but it is just truly a book that you should pick up because it's great, and I couldn't be happier that I've read that. And also it's a paperback, so one more down that I can give to my boyfriend to bring home because I have way too many. This book is amazing. It's a children's book and I love it. I needed this. This came out of a drawer, out of this little jar. I put it in the prettier jar before I had to shift it to this one because that one was too big. But overall, I was very pleased by Fate's choice, because in that period I was very stressed and I really needed a light read, something that could pick me up and that I could just flow through without being scared by it or traumatized by it. I normally love reading murder mysteries, and that's something that I read very often. I love how they are constructed and everything, but I just needed this as something that could really calm me down, and it really did. So now it's time to pick up the new book for the month of March. Okay, let's do this one. I didn't look because maybe they can open and it can be a bit tricky. I could have looked at what they were, but no. A book that you weren't originally going to pick up. She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parcker-Chan. Yay! Okay, that's another very exciting one. That was one that was recommended to me by a bookstagrammer. Here is the cover of the new book. The book is not massive, I will give it that, which is good because I have a big book fear. It's still 411 pages and it's written quite tightly. I guess that it's not going to be maybe the fastest read, also because I also want to finish Book Lovers, which is one that I still have ongoing. This is Book Lovers, my version of the cover, but that one is one that I went through to the half. So we will have at least 2 more books down in this month, these 2, because this one is part of the challenge, and let's pick another one just for the sake of it. And this one is The 7 Husbands of Eveline Hugo. I'm gonna pick this one up too. I'm gonna show you what I got. This one I've been waiting to read for ages, and I technically have to read also the Atlas 6 as part of a book club. However, this went down because I can't find the piece of paper with what I picked. That's not in the jar, so that's not in here. So this is the first pick, which is She Who Became the Sun, which is this one we said. I found the missing piece. So we have our picks, and let's get down to reading.